Good morning everyone and welcome to City Church News with this special edition. Hope you can hear me over the raucous that the birds are making at the moment. They are absolutely chattering away. And also the snow is gone. I mean, I don't know if you can see here, but I have got puddles of water in the grass. So yeah, I'm guessing everyone else's garden looks fairly similar. But today's special, we'll be talking to our new church pastor, Andy Lenton. So let's go over and listen to a chat on Zoom. Tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, so I grew up in Sheffield and went to the Elim Church in the middle of town in Sheffield, which at the time my pastor was Jeff Feasey. And Lisa, she was the same. She grew up, we've known each other nearly all our lives.
Oh, wow.
And Lisa's a bit younger than me, so it was more her sister that I was sort of like knocked around with back in my youth group days and things like that. But both our families are from Sheffield. Interestingly, I've got an auntie who's looked back in our family history, and my great-great-granddad he lived in Derby.
Oh, wow.
On Brook Street, and he was married at St. Werburgh's, just down the road. And my great-great-great-granddad, his dad, he was married at St. Alkmund's.
Oh, yes.
So who knows? You know, I've got family who lived in Derby, but I guess with a name like Lenton, which is Nottingham, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess the East Midlands is in our family history. So yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. So tell me a bit about Lisa. Obviously, you met as kids.
Okay, so yeah, Lisa, Sheffield girl, and she is now, let me get this right, she's a clinical team manager for the NHS in the 0 to 19 service, providing public health for children between the ages of 0 to 19. I hope I've got that right. She just sits upstairs on Zoom most of the time.
Don't we all?
So yeah, I mean, and so we've known each other nearly all our lives, and well, we started going out with each other the day before I went to Bible college.
Oh, wow.
And we were going out with each other for about 7 years before we got engaged, and then we were married for about a year. I just took on the Elim Church in Scunthorpe, and Lisa went away to do her district nurse training. And the nearest place that she could do a district nurse training was Derby.
Ah, I love these Derby connections.
So she lived in Derby on the weekdays. She lived in Derby for a whole year. So she's always had a bit of an affection for Derby. So yeah, that's Lisa. You'll
find that it's very hard to leave Derby. I've tried to leave about 3 times and I've given up now. You just end up back.
Well, you know what? I mean, we've been down a couple of times, had a look round. Obviously, Lisa knows Derby a lot better than me, and well, that's a great place. We're really looking forward to coming down and finding a house and settling down.
So, tell me about your kids.
We've got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. The 2 boys are Alistair, who's the oldest, and he works full time, and he works for a firm that make sort of like micro ligaments. Especially for sporting injuries and things like that. And he's done that ever since he left school. He took an apprenticeship there, and well, he loves it. Cameron, who is now, how old is he? 21. He's at Manchester University.
Yeah.
And he hates it if we say that he's doing film studies, because he's not. He's doing film making.
Yeah. And, I did production.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Similar stuff. So yeah, he's struggling a bit really, because it's been a bit tough for university students, especially this year. So yeah, so he's in his final year, so he'll be finishing this next summer. And Caris, she's 18. She's doing her A-levels. She's in the final year of her A-levels, and she's got a driving test coming up soon. and she's got a little part-time job at the doctor's surgery near us, just on reception, and she's the good kids, the great kids.
Ace, brilliant. Have you got any hobbies?
Yeah, quite eclectic, really. I love cooking, so I love just sort of like I love watching all the cookery programs and then actually cooking. And,
what's your speciality?
I just like to try anything. You know, I try an Indian or a Chinese or some a little bit. Probably not nouvelle cuisine or anything like that. But I really like cooking all kinds of things and buying unusual things from the market or whatever. I love sport. Sheffield United fan. Won Man United last night.
Sheffield United. Oh, we've had Sheffield Wednesday. Steve Kempton was Sheffield Wednesday.
Steve and I grew up in the same youth group. We still talk to each other probably 3 times a week. And yes, he grew up a Wednesday fan and I grew up United fan. In fact, every year when we can, me and Steve go to the Boxing Day football match, either at Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United, whoever's playing at home. And so yeah, there's a little bit of rivalry there. But I'm also a motorbiker. I've got a motorbike, and there's nothing I like better than just going out on a ride and just getting lost, really. And it's a little bit like my quiet time, just me and God in my helmet. And but Derbyshire's brilliant for that, isn't it?
Yeah, Matlock, it's the place to go. I think I'm not a biker, Matlock, but I think I've heard that's the place.
Yeah, Matlock Bath, famous.
Yeah, it's the closest we've got to a seaside. Enjoy. Okay, I've also got like your top 3 rated books and films. Like mine always change, so I'm not saying your top 3, just the top rated at the moment.
Well, mine always change, but I would say my top authors, perhaps.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
Who I've got the most from. Well, certainly growing up, anything by Tozer was amazing, and really got a lot from Tozer. I really like a guy called Brennan Manning.
Ooh,
not Bernard Manning, certainly not Bernard Manning, Brennan Manning. So if you read anything by Philip Yancey, or Bill Hybels or anything like that, they always say in the little foreword, "Thanks to my spiritual director, Brennan Manning." So you think, wow, this Brennan Manning must be he must be cool. So the best book I've ever read is a book called Abba's Child by Brennan Manning. He's more famous for writing a book called The Ragamuffin Gospel, which is brilliant. But Abba's Child is fantastic. And theologically, I think a guy called Ian Paul is brilliant. And then R.T. Kendall, N.T. Wright, all those guys are fantastic. So yeah, there would be favourite films. Well, they're not my top 3. I mean, like my favourite film of all time is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a good one.
It sends you a little bit balmy, but it's a great film. Great film. I like gritty films. So I, Daniel Blake is another one that I really like. But I'm not really keen on sort of like, I certainly don't like musicals. If you ask Lisa loves musicals. Oh, I can't stand musicals.
No, it's not. They're not my favourite. And me and my cousin once went to the cinema to watch a film, and then we sat in there. It's like the first 10 minutes, and then we looked at each other going, "Didn't realise this was a musical." But you've paid. We were in London. You paid so much money to go. You've just got to watch it to the end. But I had no idea that it was a musical, and I was like, "Oh no."
I think there's only Grease. I mean, and everybody likes Grease, don't they?
Well, yeah.
I saw Grease when I was a kid so many times. That's probably the only musical I like.
Okay, so quick thinking on this one. I'm going to give you 2 options. So are you like a starter or a pudding?
Oh, well, very much a starter. I really like starters more than puddings, to be quite honest with you.
Quite savoury then.
If I have a pudding, I'd probably have the cheese board or ice cream.
Ooh. No, sticky toffee pudding
Lisa,
every time.
on the other hand, sticky toffee pudding, whatever.
Yeah.
That is her favourite.
Scone or scone?
Definitely scone.
Yes, correct.
Posh people have scones.
That's what I think, but they all say the same about scone.
Oh, it's definitely a scone.
Yeah. Car or a bike?
Well, it depends if it's got an engine in it. If it's got an engine in it, bike every time.
Even in the rain?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm getting a bit old now, so I do appreciate the heater. But yeah, I bike anytime. Once you get on the motorbike, there's nothing better.
And this is because it's early or late. Are you early to things, or are you like fashionably late?
I always try and put my I don't wear a watch actually, but I try and sort of like set the clock in my car a little bit fast so that I get to places on time. I'm not one of these guys that gets really cross with people who are late, but if they're consistently late, there's something not right there. So that's what I think anyway. So yeah, I like to be on time. I don't like to be too early, and I don't like late. I like to be on time.
I have to. I'm just late. I'm early for everything, so I have to try and like slow myself down to make myself more on time. Because otherwise, I'm like massively early for everything. I freak out if I get late. I know, it's a weird one, isn't it? Okay, so tell me a bit about how you became a Christian.
Well, I grew up in a family that went to Elim Church in Sheffield, and I was dragged to church when I was a young kid. I loved going to church, but then as you get into your teenage years, you sort of like begin to find that pretty difficult. So I can remember when I was sort of like 7 years old, my Sunday school teacher teaching about hell. And none of us liked the sound of hell. And at the end of the Sunday school lesson, he said, right, who doesn't want to go to hell? So obviously we all put our hand up. And he said, right, well, you better give your life to Jesus, didn't you? And so I was sort of like scared into heaven. But it wasn't until I was probably 16, 17 when I realized I needed forgiveness. That's stuff I'd done that I just, it weighed heavy on me. I needed forgiveness. So I would say when I was 16, 17, that was when I really committed my life to Jesus. I really thought, I've got to be in this 100%. Even though I'd grown up in church, I was a bit of a hypocrite because I went to church, but then in the week I did stuff that my mates were doing, and it wasn't good. And so yeah, that's how I became a Christian. Interestingly, when I finally applied for Bible college, my granddad had died by this time, but I think it was like the day before I went to Bible college, my grandma said to me, when you were small and you were in your granddad's arms, he prayed that you'd be a church minister. And I've not told you this because I didn't want it to influence you in any way. And so she was pleased as punch that I was going off to Bible college.
Yeah. So what made you want to become a pastor?
I guess it's always been there. I've done other jobs. I've worked for the HMRC and Ministry of Defence and stuff like that. But I really, in the year before I went to Bible college, I worked in a Church of England church, and I was their parish visitor, if you like. And it was quite a rough area of Sheffield, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it really sort of helped me decide this is what I want to do. When I went to Elim Bible College, all I wanted to be was a youth pastor. That's what I really wanted to do. But at the time, Elim didn't produce youth pastors. It just produced pastors. And so it wasn't till probably 10 years out of Bible college when I actually finally became a youth pastor. And that was here in Leeds. But obviously, you get to an age where you're just too old to be a youth pastor. And no, it's right for me to be in the adult world and loved it. So yeah, it's something that I've sort of like always had that sense of calling, really. And I guess eventually you sort of like say, yes, God, okay, this is for me.
Awesome. So final question, have you got a favorite verse or passage, book?
Yes.
Yeah.
My
What is it and why?
favorite, my favorite passage is the prodigal son. My favorite verse is Luke 15:20, which is from the prodigal son, where it says that the father is looking out for his son, and when he sees him afar off, this is my paraphrase, he runs towards him with his arms open wide and puts his arms around his son. That for me is a picture of how God is with us. Certainly was with me. I knew I was afar off from God, and as soon as I came to my senses, as it were, and decided to go back to my father, he accepted me with open arms, and that's what he does to every single one of us. So that's my favorite verse in the whole of Scripture.
Good one. Good one. Right, now I have got a little quiz about Derby. So if you don't know the answers, it will help you to like learn a bit about Derby and facts about Derby. So we'll start off. I've been trying to be quite kind. They are questions that will be of interest, hopefully.
Okay.
When you're, I know about Derby.
Mastermind, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. True or false? We'll start off with a few of those because I always think 50-50 is easier options. So first, true or false? Derby had the first factory in the world.
Well, it's highly likely, because certainly early industry around the Midlands, I would say true.
Correct. Yeah, that was good. Yep, you can find out what that one is because I think I've forgotten. But we definitely had the first factory in the world. True or false? The creator of the hot dog was born in Derby.
The creator of the hot dog. That is such a random question, Sarah. I would say surely he's got to be a German. So no, that's a false one.
I'm afraid, ding, 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 it's correct. It is claimed by a guy in America. So he was born in Derby in the 1800s and moved over to America, and he claims that he created the hot dog.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. True or false? Derby has the busiest McDonald's in the UK.
Really? False.
False. Yes, it's in Weymouth.
What?
Weymouth has the busiest McDonald's in the UK, apparently.
Serious? More than some in London? Okay.
Well, yeah, I suppose it has been locked down, so you can't really get in central London. But there are so many in London.
Weymouth. All right. Okay.
Okay, true or false? This is the last one of the true or falses. We have a road named after Brian Clough.
Yes, you do. The Brian Clough Way. I've been on it.
Yeah. See, I put an easy one in there because I thought, well, if he doesn't know it, I'm going to have to say he drives down it every time he comes to Derby.
That's right.
And what is Derby's connection with Lara Croft?
Tomb Raider. Well, I've no idea whatsoever. No idea.
Dear. We created. There was a Tomb Raider was created in Derby.
Oh, there you go.
We've got quite a big gaming industry, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I've never played Tomb Raider.
We've also got I think Lara Croft's got her own road as well.
Okay. Wow.
And so this the final one. This is a big fact for Derby people. Everyone in Derby knows this. So you know, if you don't know it now, you'll never forget it. We have one of the top 10 most secure places in the world, right here in Derby. But what is it? I'll give you more. I've got answers, multiple questions to this. So, is it a car park, So Bold Lane car park. Is it B, NatWest Bank, or is it C, the council house?
Most secure place.
Yeah, top 10 in the world.
Okay. Well, I would imagine it's the bank.
No, it's
not the car
Bold
park.
Lane car park.
Really?
So, which is very close to church. So it's just round the
Okay.
corner from church. Yeah. So it is. I looked the other day actually, and it got mentioned in top 5, but I don't know. It's definitely in the top 10, along with Fort Knox, the Vatican Secret Archives, the White House, and actually, I think in the list of the top 10, it's just above Area 51.
Unbelievable. Well, I've learned a lot there. So I know to park my car there.
Yeah, it is like Fort Knox basically. It's very
Wow.
secure. You're not gonna
Okay.
get robbed or anything in there.
Okay. Well, do you know what? I'm looking forward to learning an awful lot more about Derby. And being as I've learned the inventor of the hot dog comes from Derby, I'm sure Derby's famous for a lot more things than that.
Oh, I hope so. Well, thanks for your time.
Well, do you know what? It's great. I mean, I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. Really looking forward to working with a team down there, and really looking forward to moving down there. So yeah, hopefully that won't be too long. So.
Yeah. So that was just a little bit of fun there. It was great to get to know Andy a little bit better and his family. So tomorrow, that is Saturday, tomorrow at noon, we'll be having his induction service on Zoom. You should have all had an email by now with all the login details and information, but if you haven't or if you can't find it, please just email us messages on any of our social platforms and we'll get right back to you. And then on Sunday, we will be having our usual church online service where Andy will be preaching. So that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you all got every answer right on that Derby quiz. Until next time, I'll see you soon.